Today I'm going to go film a video that I've wanted to film for, I don't know, probably the past week or so, and that is to see how far I can throw. I just charged this baby up, so we're going to take out my drone, see if we can get cool shots with that. I was going to film this video the other day, but it was super windy outside, and I want a calm day, that way we really know how far I'm throwing. And the reason that I'm filming this video is because I get asked a lot how far I throw, especially when I'm doing disc reviews, because, you know, people want to know how hard I'm throwing the disc to get it to fly that way to see if that disc is good for them. My plan is I'm just going to take my full bag out there. It'll also show you what I throw if you've never watched my in the bag videos. Throw my approaches, throw the mid-ranges, fairways, drivers, and just kind of get an idea of how far I'm throwing them. So let's get over to the field. I think it's calm out there. See how far I throw. Can't forget that. Always got to make sure you got the best disc golf shoes in the game, Idio Sports. Hit the link down in my bio to get yourself a pair. Save you some money at checkout. One thing I've noticed is my distance definitely fluctuates a lot. So that's kind of also why I'm interested to see where it is today. I feel like after the winters, I definitely lose some distance because I don't always work on my form during those times. I definitely know at one point I was hitting 400 more regularly, and now it seems like it's kind of all over the place. So I hope to hit 400 today, but I don't know if that's going to be the case. I think my putters and my mid-ranges have been going farther than normal. Hopefully that's the case today, but we'll see. What do you guys think is a respectable distance to throw? I've always kind of wanted to hit 400. Of course, when you hit 400, then you want to go to 450. For me, that's never happened. I've thrown 430 when I was like at my peak, but it's like a big distance shot, really wasn't a golf line. I don't think I can do that right now, which is the reason we're out here, to see how far off I am. Really, if your putting and approach game is spectacular, you know, you could probably get away with 350, 375 would be enough on most courses. But there are some really long par threes out there that if you can't throw 400, sometimes you don't even get a look, which can be quite annoying. I think I'm gonna take a couple of these bad boys out just as warm-ups. Probably just throw a couple of buzzes. Looks like I got a couple of NVs too. So two NVs, two buzzes. Those will be good warm-ups. I'll take a servo and a crave out there as well. All right, there's a little breeze out here. Let's see. Little right to left action. It's not too strong. I don't think it'll play too much, but it might help a little bit. We are on a football field, so post to post should be 360. I did bring my rangefinder as well, just in case. I'm gonna get my drone up in the air. That way you can see some full flights. And then we're just gonna start ripping. I'm gonna warm up first, and then we're gonna start ripping. I have not used this thing in a long time. Kind of excited to get it back out. My idea is that I wanna throw golf shots. I don't want to just get out here and throw big anhysers that I never throw on the field, because I want to give you guys the most accurate distance that I throw, I guess, if that makes sense. I'm never one to throw these big Annie shots on the course. I'm more going to throw flat shots, hyzer flip shots. I'm going to try to throw them hard, but I'm not going to get out of hand here. First, we just got to throw a couple, because I'm getting old nowadays. That feels good. Hopefully I can throw my praxis like that. Jawbreaker buzz. Those things are fun. All right, so we'll start with my approach discs. That is going to include 2 zones, Jawbreaker and Z, a praxis, an ethos soft plastic, and then 2 mid-ranges that I bagged, the Detour and the Buzz. So we'll start with the zones, work up to the putter and the mid-ranges. Then we'll get those distances for you and see where we're at. Try to get this flat, see how far I can throw it. A beautiful disc, one you gotta have in the bag. Just using that for the overstable approaches. Windy shots, the Jawbreaker will be a lot more straighter. We'll try to rip on this one. I mean, you could tell the clear difference. And that came out of the hand with a lot of snap. The praxis, just got to make sure I give this one the height. If you don't give it the height, it won't travel very far. Probably a little too high, honestly. But not bad. Now the Detour and the Buzz, kind of a toss-up. Which one goes farther? Typically it's the Detour because I get more of a flip and a more glidey flight to it. The Buzz has the ability to go far, but I have to throw it harder, I feel like. There we go. That is, wind kind of played with it a little bit. Yeah, that's a little bit better of a rip, but you can see a little bit more understable. And since we do have that right to left, once I get it on edge like that, it's gonna push it down. Not too surprising that the detour went the farthest there, but I'm gonna double down, see if we get those readings again, or if they're close, and then we'll move on to the fairways. That's back up there, and unfortunately the wind, we do have a little tailwind. It's not super strong like I said before, but there is some out here, keep in mind. Let's go same order here. A little higher than I had it the first time, might travel a little farther, but you can see how overstable that zone is. So much straighter. That thing is so good. All right, this is the one that I kind of wanted to improve on, the Praxis. I think I can throw it better. I think that might be better. Might be about the same, and if it is, then that makes sense. Got the buzz higher. Definitely think that one's better than the first, with the added height and the money maker, the detour. It's just got a little bit too much turn into it. Gotta get on that hyzer to really travel the distance, but felt like I threw those just like I would on the course. So let's see if those distances add up to the first round. I'm just gonna have to keep putting these distances on the screen because I'm not gonna remember them all, because I forgot to write them down. But here's the Praxis. We threw it 288 that time, much better than the first. Both of my zones went farther and my buzz just kept on going. My Z zone 303 that time. I am kind of annoyed because there is more wind out here than I thought. So you could probably take 10 to 15 feet off of some of these shots and they could be a little bit more accurate. I'm sorry about that. I thought it was a really calm day. My jawbreaker zone, 293. My detour, not far off, maybe like 303, 300 exactly. And then my buzz is just so far. And I think part of that is because I got the detour a little too turned and the buzz just kind of kept on floating, and I got it higher as well. I mean, this is an absolute rip for a mid-range for me. 343. So I would have to say the wind helped us on that one. All right. Moving on to the fairway drivers. I'm not gonna throw them all, but I'm gonna throw the ones that are kind of neutral to stable, the ones that'll best give you an understanding of how far I can throw if I'm really throwing hard. So we got a Firebird that's kind of beaten in, Sagara, Athena, and a Halo Leopard 3. I'm just gonna go least stable to most stable. So Leopard 3 should be my straightest out of all of these. Wind check. Right to left. Well, that wind kind of keeping it a little more left, not as straight as it usually is. That's going to be one where we're going to throw it again on that second one and hopefully get a better rip. Athena next. And also, guys, I don't know why I've been doing this, but I've been kind of using a modified fan grip, not a complete power grip. I feel like it's given me more control over the disc. When I get up to the drivers, I typically will go full power grip, but everything else, mid-ranges, putters, and then my fairways, it seems like I go to the fan grip more often. It's not too bad with the Athena. I would like it higher. I think this really shows you I struggle with the distance because those two probably went just as far as my buzz, and I know I can throw them farther. That's the Sagara, and I got a good rip on that. I think the best I could have thrown that one. Perfect. Great shot with it. Just like the slow speeds, one more rip to see if we can get anything more out of them. It actually kind of feels like the wind has calmed down at the second, so let's go. Oh, just got on a little bit of anhyzer that time, but it's actually pretty decent. And I'm really loving the fact that the wind seems down right now, so this round I think is going to be the most accurate for the fairways. The Sagara. Cigars are definitely have some stability to them. I love when I can hear the snap off my fingers. I always call my Leopard my longer buzz Today that wasn't the case because I just threw it 330, yeah, 329, and I threw my buzz 347 today. And it's funny because these are all kind of in a line. We got Firebird first, 332 feet, Sagara next, 348 feet, and then the Athena. And I think this is really how these should line up. 355. A little variance from the first throws to the second throws, but the second throws I think were very accurate, at least to what I have in my head on how far I'm throwing them. So that seemed good. Kind of bummed out because my controller died to my drone. So we just got this standstill camera for the big guns, the drivers. I'll throw my go-tos, I guess, for distance or what I think I can throw the farthest. We have a titanium Zeus, kind of middle stability, pretty straight but has a fade. This is my most beaten in Zeus. You guys have probably seen it. We got a trail and then the Hades. If the wind can stay calm, then we might be able to bomb the trail and the Hades. But if it picks up, they might turn over a little too much. Still got that right to left. Let's just start with the understable stuff and see what happens. You can see that turn that it has. That looks pretty good. That's how my trail flies. A lot of people's trails don't fly like that. They fly way more stable. Personally, I like it, but sometimes it flips a little too much. Prototype Hades. Oh, that is, might be a good little shot. I gotta throw it really high to get that big turn. When I have a stronger tailwind, I can throw it a little bit more normal, but that did okay in the wind. We'll go with the titanium Zeus next. Turned it over. Don't typically do that. Go, baby, go. That was a good rip. All right, we got one more round here. Give these drivers another toss. Feels like I need to hurry because the wind is so down. I'm just gonna rip these. Oh yeah. There you go. There's no wind right now. That's a bomb. That was my trail. That's my Hades. That's pretty typical of my Hades. If I don't get the angle just right, it's gonna turn too much and I won't get the distance. That's why I don't throw that disc very often anymore. Don't pick up now. I'm just gonna try to wait this out. I want no wind for these last two shots. It's like when I go pick up my discs, that's when the wind is non-existent. When I go to throw, it picks up. That's a pretty typical titanium Zeus flight. No real turn, just a straight flight to the fade. This is the one that should turn if we get a hold of it. Little low. Turns too much. All right, come on, 400s, 400s, 400s. 405 with the trail. I don't know if I've ever thrown the trail that far in my life. We'll take it, heck yeah. And then I'm just gonna get the distance for the titanium Zeus because that was the other one that flew like I would expect. I'm assuming this is gonna be 385, that's my guess. Oh, 388. There's my drivers. They didn't go necessarily as expected, but those last ones from the trail and the titanium Zeus, I think those are pretty spot on. The trail went a little farther than normal, I think, but I got a really good rip. That's the thing with my distance, is it can be all over the place. Of course, wind dependent, but also just me and my skill level. Sometimes my form feels really good, and then sometimes I feel like I get out here and I can hardly throw the disc. And you guys saw some of that today. All right, guys, there you have it. Kind of gives you an idea of how far I'm throwing. It wasn't perfect like I wanted it to be. I didn't want any wind out here. I had a couple throws that the wind was down, but then I had a couple throws where I felt like the wind helped me a lot, aka that buzz throw. I don't think I normally throw my buzz 347. For the most part, it was a right to left. I think the approach discs actually benefited from that because I really wouldn't get them turned over except for the detour, and you could see that get pushed down. The distance shots hurt a little bit more because I want to hyzer flip to a turn, and once they get turned, they just get pushed down. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope it's helpful. If you guys want to know how far I throw, I might just direct you to this video. Make sure to hit that like and subscribe button, and we'll see you on the next one.